U.S. President Donald Trump says the future of the Canada-U.S.-Mexico Free Trade Agreement is uncertain, with 1 year left before the deal would need to be renewed.
It's just an ongoing thing. It expires in about a year, and we'll either let it expire or we'll maybe work out another deal with Mexico and Canada. But look, Mexico and Canada have taken advantage of the United States, like just about every other country, in all fairness. It's not them, I'm not blaming them. But every country, because we had stupid people running our country. We had a lot of stupid people running. That's why we have $38 trillion in debt. But the beautiful thing about the tariffs is we'll start paying off that debt.
Public hearings are being held in Washington as part of a mandatory review of CUSMA. 3 days have been set aside for the hearings, part of the preparations leading up to the formal review of the agreement. Now, that begins on July 1st. Ahead of the hearings, a number of American industry leaders have been urging the Trump administration to remove tariffs on imports from Canada and Mexico. Let's now bring in Robert Glasgow, international trade lawyer at McCarthy Tetro. Robert, good evening and thanks for your time.
Good evening. Thanks for having me, Akshay.
What do you make of the president's comments when he says he could let CUSMA expire and have another deal? Is it really that simple?
I mean, it kind of is and it isn't. It isn't in the sense that he's wrong that it's going to expire. The CUSMA renegotiation window opens next year on July 1, but those renegotiations are set to go for 10 years. And it's only if no renewal is reached in that 10-year period that it would expire. And in my view, that was very intentional to ensure that there would be at least one change of administration, likely in each of the major parties during that negotiation period to prevent roadblocks, like we might actually see with this Trump administration. Having said that, Trump could elect to terminate CUSMA because there is a 6-month termination provision, but that would be potentially very economically and politically dicey in the United States.
Well, thank you for spelling that out. But let's talk about what's playing out in the U.S. right now. These public hearings that will continue till the 5th of December, how can they really impact or influence the eventual decision-making?
So, I mean, in normal courses, I would say it would be quite impactful because you have a wide degree of business leaders, industry groups, from very progressive think tanks all the way up to like the soybean farmers of America, various pharmaceutical lobbies, various industrial manufacturing lobbies. And they've been fairly united in telling Donald Trump that we need to renew CUSMA because access to the Mexican and Canadian markets is critical for their members and for the U.S. economy. And so in the usual course, I would think that that would be incredibly persuasive. Having said that, they also, generally speaking, also called for the elimination of tariffs that Trump has imposed on Canada and Mexico under IEEPA and the sectoral tariffs. And that's had no impact on Trump. And we just saw, leading into this segment, Donald Trump's general reaction. So with Donald Trump, even logic, coherence and consensus amongst industry doesn't seem to necessarily be the most persuasive thing.
Yeah, I have about 30 seconds, Robert. So what, in your view, can we actually expect with the president being so pro-tariffs, using it as an economic tool, a weapon, whatever you want to call it? What will be the best-case scenario for this new CUSMA then?
I would quite frankly think the best-case scenario for Canada is to rag the puck. It's to keep negotiations going while keeping our CUSMA exemption on IEEPA tariffs, and hopefully they get struck down by the court, and trying to reach an accommodation on the sectoral tariffs. That's probably the best expectations, and then hope a new administration will bring with it a more open and willing to cooperate negotiation partner.
All right. We'll leave it at that for tonight then. Robert Glasgow, international trade lawyer at McCarthy Tetro. Thank you, Robert.
Thank you.